Terence Crawford has an altercation with Errol Spence Jr.'s trainer. Says they are treating him like a punk. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Carter Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, the big homie, Terence Bud Crawford, of course, has this big undisputed matchup coming up with Errol the Truth Spence Jr.'s. And they were recently in a press conference, and Terence Crawford and Derrick James, the trainer of Errol Spence Jr., they were kind of crossing paths, and apparently there were some words exchanged, and it was kind of heated. I just wanted to give my deuce on what was said, the altercation, and why Terence Crawford feels like they're treating him like a punk.
You know we Jamaican, man. We smoke bud. You already know how that go. It's legal in Vegas too, so we gonna smoke your ass up.
Alright, so there was an altercation with Derrick James and Terence Crawford. Apparently, what happened was they were leaving the conference and they kind of crossed paths with each other. Terence Crawford said, "What's up?" to Derrick James, and Derrick James went to approach Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford apparently didn't like that, said, "You're effing stupid," and I guess there was a little shoving going back and forth, but security quickly broke it up. But why is it that Terence Crawford is having these feelings that they're treating him like a punk?
They ran a treyway on me. Against my will, I was screaming, "No, stop." But they just kept treywaying me.
Basically, what you have to realize about boxing is this is a man's sport. This is a real man's sport. This is a fighter's sport. So, you know, the number one thing, I think, in a boxing fight, the number one strategy should be to intimidate your opponent. You know, this is a fight. So if you can get your opponent scared before they even get into the ring, you kind of already beat them. If you got them feeling a certain way before you get them into the ring, you kind of already beat them. Terence Crawford seems like the type of guy who gets emotional really quickly. You know, emotions, they can F with you. Emotions can get you to do things you normally wouldn't do if you were thinking, you know. And it seems like Terence Crawford got emotional with this situation because in the back of his mind, they're already treating him like a punk.
They're gonna call the cops. They had two young fellas driving up and down these lanes playing And mama, don't worry, you raised a gangster. I'm a survivor. You know what I'm talking about? Bumping it loud. So yeah, they may call the cops.
Why does he feel like they're treating him like a punk? Well, I think it goes back to the first negotiation between these two guys, and Terence Crawford feeling like he was getting slighted on the money. Now, you know why he felt that way when he doesn't have nowhere near the resume of Errol Spence. He didn't have the amount of titles Spence had. You know, he wasn't as popular as Spence. You know, that goes back to being emotional. And more than likely, people in your team hyping you up that you deserve more than you're already getting, you know, or what they're offering you. And it can go back to even further than that with him signing with Bob Arum and Bob Arum treating him like the golden goose. And him almost getting a spoiled kids type of mentality. So, you know, when you put all that together and you go into the press conference and you got these two guys crossing paths, well, you got Errol Spence side and Derrick James and all these people on Team Spence. They're trying their best to intimidate you into losing the fight. You know, it should be obvious. So anytime somebody approaches you like that, well, he was obviously trying to get you to swing at them so they can get you in a situation to where they can take a portion of your purse away. That way you're frustrated going into the fight. You're already losing money going into the fight. That's a good strategy on Errol Spence and Team Spence's part. Now, Terence Crawford, on the other hand, you can't be so emotional.
Yeah. Hello? Kill you, motherfucker. Hello? Kill you, motherfucker. Word. Go get you, motherfucker. You better watch your motherfucking back. That's my word. Eat a dick.
Number two, where were your guys at who are supposed to be watching you to keep you out of situations like this? You know, why were they not surrounding you? You know, I'm pretty sure Errol Spence don't move without somebody standing next to him, you know, especially with the size of PBC and everything. You know, I'm pretty sure they got plenty of security and he got plenty of homeboys and trainers around to make sure stuff like that never ever happens to him. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, you got to remember, this guy is an independent now. He's walking around without a promotional company. He has his own promotional company, but it's nowhere near the size of these established boxing promotional companies. So I think he's going into this a little blindsided and a little overwhelmed. This is why he's feeling like they're treating him like a punk.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you? Just
listen, you can't match anything that Errol Spence can bring to the table. You can't match his resume, can't match the amount of titles he has, you can't match his promotional company, you can't match the TV deals that those people can. Nothing that you can do now that you no longer have Bob Arum on your side is going to match up with what Errol Spence and his side can do. So, you know, if he's feeling like they're treating him like a punk, well, they're most likely probably are treating you like you're a punk because you've been acting like a punk. What do I mean by that? What I mean by Terence Crawford has been acting like a punk. Well, any real man, any real one would have already taken the Errol Spence fight, beaten this guy, gotten him out of the way, because if you're really that bad, the money shouldn't matter. Once you're champion, you're going to dictate everything anyway. So if you feel like you can beat him, go ahead and beat him and quit whining about, well, I'm not getting $50 more on this, or, you know, we're not fighting over her, or, you know, Bob Arum is involved. This, you know, it's always an excuse with Terence Crawford. But you claim to be the baddest thing walking the planet when it comes to welterweights, you know. And if you're not willing to show and prove, of course those guys are going to treat you like a punk because you're acting like a punk. On the streets, somebody who proclaims to be something that they're completely not, they're going to get tested everywhere they go. And their life's going to be a living hell because nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. And on the street, if nobody believes you, you're a walking target. Now, Terence Crawford has basically turned himself into a walking target. He left Bob Arum, you know, his only protection from big promotional companies that are able to do this type of stuff, you know, these intimidation tactics. And Bob Arum would have prepared you for that. He would have had all type of security around you. There would have been no way Derrick James could have even probably saw you after, you know, they got up from the press conference. You know, he would have ushered you off so quickly that, and had so much other stuff for you to do, that you would have never even paid attention to him, and your emotions wouldn't have gotten the best of you in that situation. So, you know, just like street stuff and people punking people because they know that they're not going to be about what they say they're about, and they know for a fact that if they pull a gun on you or they rob you or something, you're never going to retaliate against this stuff. Hey, they're going to treat you like a straight punk. And it's the same thing in the boxing world because these are men, grown men, you know, basically trying to intimidate you out of a victory.
They hypnotize with hatred. Hypnotize, Vlad.
Hypnotized.
No, Vlad. Hypnotize.
Hypnotized.
No, Vlad. Say it with me, man. Hypnotize.
Ties.
Hypnotize with hatred.
Hypnotized with hatred.
No, Vlad. Come on, Vlad. No. Come on.
So, hey, I'm not surprised. If he feel like they treating him like a punk, I'm pretty sure they are treating him like a punk. From the promotional company all the way down to the bottom of the list. So, you know, hey, it's up to Terence Crawford to go in there and show and prove. You kind of put yourself in this situation. So now it's kind of on you to make it known that you are the baddest man on the planet. And the only way you're going to do that is to win this fight. And if you already feel like you're getting punked, just wait until you get to the ring and everybody's against you once you get into the ring. It's going to be even worse than that. So, hey, that's my thoughts for today. Y'all let me know what y'all think about down in the comments section below. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More than likely to get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there. If you want to collab or feature a product or even have your channel featured on my channel to, get a little more exposure, then hit my Gmail. It is flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are live.
Hey yo, brand new money, what you know about it? Niggas wanna claim they bout it, I doubt it. Got your house surrounded, you don't wanna come about it. It's lonely at the top, but at the bottom it's crowded. A nigga ain't eating a week, yet and still got a pocket full of bread, then you're probably a beast. If you're eating every day of the week, but you ain't got $1 to your name, then you're probably a leech. Preach, thank the Most Highs for making me most fly. It's okay, wash on the fat boy died. I know you got something on your mind, don't try it. I got something in the rats in your head, bone flying for sure. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. You know I stack it, don't spin it, own it, don't rent it. Wait a damn minute, I'ma show 'em how to get it. Come on, let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go,
Hey yo, you can hear the cop sirens and the shots firing. Niggas looking for jobs, but they not hiring. You gotta take it all in your own hands. What you on, bruh? I got my own plans. Get my own land, please move along, man. If you can't respect the fact that I'm a grown man, and I ain't playing going hard in the paint for my niggas that wanna go hard, but they can't. So I guess I'm going triple hard. I get your girlfriend's nipples hard. Never leave home without my pimpin' card. So please put my name on the wall. That's the greatest of all. Put my name on the brawl. If I lay in the wrong, what I'm saying to y'all, Louis Keys ain't playing with y'all. Middle finger, what I'm waving to y'all. Give a damn if you say hi. Super low, yet I stay high. Louis Keys.
let me see you go, let me see you go, get it. Let me see you go, let me see you go,
You know I stack it, don't spin it. Own it, don't rent it. Wait a damn minute, I'ma show 'em how to